So I'm here with Darren Eady and Chris Wigger, 4 days before we start the season, gents. Pre-season results-wise have gone very well overall, and it must be so nice to get out on the pitch to get started again.
You'll start. You got me.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think pre-season from our point of view has been enjoyable, and it's not often that I get to say that. So I think we feel like we've recruited really well. I think we're happy with the way the squad is assembled to this point, and yeah, we feel confident that we're in a position where we're ready to start on Saturday.
Yeah, from my point of view, I think we've always, as we did last season, tried to do our business as early as we can, and there's only a finite amount of players around here that we can dip into. We need to first of all try and maintain and retain the players we wanted to, but also add players to where we felt the areas we lacked in last season, and that was defensively. We were fairly high scorers last season, but we conceded a lot as well and ended up with a goal difference of -6. So we knew where we needed to improve, and we've done that. We feel like we're bringing some experience into the squad, which is going to help us massively. So yeah, we're excited to get going again and try and improve on where we finished last season. It was a good season, but being ambitious managers, we want to go as high as we can.
We've signed some experienced players in the summer, and also brought some younger ones into the squad. Do you feel as though that's an exciting team that's blending in well?
Yeah, I mean, I can speak on behalf of Zach. I've known Zach since he was a kid at Norwich. Left end and played at Wealdstone in the National League, and then at Hampton Richmond for the second part of the season, then went back to Wealdstone, got called back, so did so well. So he's played step 1 and 2 on a regular basis, so it's no brainer in terms of his quality. I think he just felt that he needed a new challenge. He wanted to be a bit more local. I think that the travelling and stuff he was doing, he's a Norwich boy, so it was difficult for him, and he wants to enjoy his football again, and I've always kept in touch with him and always kind of been on his case to try and get him here, but like all these lads, they want to play as high as they can, but I think he's in a position where he wants to get back playing football and enjoying it, and I think you can see already the impact he's had on the squad in terms of the quality he's got, so he's going to be a great addition for us.
Do you want to emphasise on that, Chris?
Yeah, I think you look at the other players that we've brought in. Wyatt is a player that I had as a very young player when he was 16, 17 years old at the start of his career. And I think we all felt at the time with Wyatt that he would go on to do bigger and better things. He did, and now it is an opportunity for us. And Darren's been an admirer of his for a while. We've watched him a few times over the last couple of years, and now is the right time to bring him in. And we're really pleased to fill that vacant, in a sense, right back slot that we struggled to fill with an out-and-out right back last season. So to do that, we feel like we've achieved something in this close season period. You then add two players with the experience of Ryan and Rossi Jarvis. We secured Ryan first of all, very much a player in that holding midfield pivot position that can just bring a little bit of calmness and experience into the middle of the pitch and dictate a little bit to the younger players around him, and that alone and how it can influence the likes of George Quantrell and Zach to a certain extent, and Finn, get those players in areas influenced on the pitch. We can only have a certain amount of input from the dugouts and from the change rooms. Once you get out here, we need experienced bodies to add to the more experienced players that we currently have and we previously had. Just a few more to dictate how the match goes about, and I think we've added that really well. And then we bring Rossi in as well. You can see what he does to our back line. We've got experience and quality all over the pitch and around the place. But we've also got some real depth as well.
Yeah, I think experience was needed defensively to be able to bring us that security at the back, and we've got that. We've got a back line that's pretty well experienced now, at good levels. And you've got those younger lads in midfield that can give you the legs beyond Ryan as well, and that's a good balance to have. We mustn't forget that Finn Barnes and GQ and Zach and Will Davies, they're all in early 20s, 2021, the young lads still. So they've done particularly well last season, but they just needed that experience behind them to be able to guide them on the pitch. That we can't sometimes get those messages across during a game. It's very difficult from the sidelines to get the impact across. It's difficult to, when you're in the sort of heat of the moment in the battle, it's very difficult to get those messages across. But when you're on the pitch and you've got that experience doing that for us, will help us massively. And you can see already that the noise in the change rooms, the noise on the pitch, the noise in training, you can probably hear behind us, it's gone up a level from last season, and for different reasons. They're demanding a lot of each other, which is great to see.
Yeah, but they're also demanding more of us. It's the whole group strives that little bit further. And again, if you look at last season, we just need to push that little bit further to achieve our goals. And as much as we can say we were close last year, the additions that we've made, we feel are the right additions to take us to a point of where we can challenge for promotion.
A few, tough fixtures to start the season in terms of, with the bookies' favourites. Looking at them today, we've got Nuneaton, Borough, Ilkeston, one of the favourites for the division. Do you look at other teams early doors and see how they get on in friendlies, or is it simply a case of just getting out there and getting on with it?
I think we realised last season, particularly playing the teams in the Midlands, you can play one team at the start of the season and then it'll be completely different by the second half of the season because of the numbers of bodies they've got around the club to be able to bring in and rotate. So it's very different. We end up with our squad, and that's generally what we've got for the whole season. But I think our best performances were against the better teams last year, and that's always been the case for us. We struggled last year against the teams we were probably expecting to beat and take points off a little bit. So that's something we've got to be mindful of. But I don't fear anybody in the league. If we got into the playoffs, and even last season, I felt we could still challenge, we could still potentially go up, but I think we could beat anybody on our day. And we proved that last year with Peterborough Sports. We've gone up and beat them away from home and drew with them here. So we're very capable. We've just got to iron out those I think the expectations of the games we probably should be doing better in, and getting more points away from home essentially, and making sure you don't lose games rather than losing the games that we had to do last season, and picking up points when you're not at the races. And some days you're not going to be at it every single week, but it's important we make sure we try and get something from the game rather than winning games, losing games.
Obviously, we lost the first friendly 4-1, we've then won 5 matches in a row, conceding just 1 goal. Going back to last Saturday's 1-0 defeat at home to Brighton, so region here, how do you feel the game overall went?
It is what we needed. Play a team of our level. They're better than what we've played in previous years. I'd say they've strengthened certainly over the summer. But
yeah, I think they made 9 additions to their squad in a close season.
But I would also say I don't think we were at our strongest.
No.
Either half, because we were trying a few different things and still getting minutes into the lads, and that's important for us to make sure that we've got a squad. Look, it's not just a starting 11. I truly believe that the 15, 16 lads we've got as our core first team squad are capable of starting every single game. And there will be disappointed lads, the lads that don't start, but we want that competition. I don't think anybody wants to sit on the bench, but I think sometimes when you're at this level, there's probably lads that expect to be on the bench, but I don't think in our team they do, and they shouldn't.
I think us and Brighton approached Saturday very differently. We approached Saturday with some decisions to be made, and still making our mind up on certain partnerships and certain ideals in what we want to take into the first league game. I look at how Brighton approached the game. They were managing the game from the 50th minute when they went a goal up. They're playing for time. I mean, I don't often see that in a friendly, a team playing for time. I think the goal that they scored was dubiously offside. I don't think the linesman quite realised that you have to have 2 players behind the ball to not be offside. When that rule was explained to him, he realised that he made a mistake. I just don't think the referee could be bothered to walk back and give a free kick. So from that point of view, I think Saturday's result doesn't bother me. Saturday's performance wasn't great for us. That does bother me. But again, it's part of our decision-making process. If we're putting in that performance on Saturday, I think we'll probably have a few questions. But I think on Saturday we'll be approaching the game very differently. Our approach to the game Saturday isn't to give everyone 45 minutes to a minimum. Our approach to Saturday is to get 3 points. So if that means the starting 11 finish the game to get 3 points, then that's what happens. If that means that we go 1-0 up and we game manage like they did, then so be it. But I certainly wouldn't be asking us to do what Brighton and C did on Saturday with regards to slowing the game down with 40 minutes to go.
Any injury concerns going into Saturday? We've got, I don't know if there's been any.
The training session hasn't finished yet, so don't talk that one up, mate. But listen, we've assembled a squad of 16 first team players. Like you said, with some good young additions that will add to the fringes and the reserve group, players that we feel confident can step into our squad. Jake Spooner being one of those examples.
Yeah, we've had that last season. Kai Fletcher's come in and scored goals for us last season.
Important goals, yeah.
Yeah, and
Liam Cork done the same and came in and
Ollie Godbold. We've got players that can step straight in, so that's where what we're trying to build over the recent years is making sure we have got a little bit of depth that can step in at times we need them to. So I think we're in a stronger position in terms of our squad to what we were at last season. Just looking forward to get cracking.
On a final note, going back to the reserves under 18s, sort of how pleasing was it to be? I know you were there, Chris, on for the reserves senior cup final.
Yeah.
I know Darren was speaking, at the presentation, where he said how pleased you were as a club that the reserves.
Did he say that? I was hammered, so I can't remember him saying that. No, in all seriousness, look, we can talk about that cup final. That was immensely pleasing. It should be for the club. But what we also need to understand is that group is pretty much gone. They were a group of players that had been at the club for a period of time. Some of those more senior reserve players had been fringe first team players in our early times here and prior to us coming here. But that reserve group that wants to play first team football, it has a cycle of so many years. It can't go no more than 2, 3, 4 years. Those players get to a certain level and they want to play first team football. And those players, majority of those players from that group, those senior players, have moved on and they've gone to play a step or two higher than what they were playing last season. And that's fantastic. We've done our job. If those players can't come and play in our first team, they've progressed as players and they're playing at a higher level than we can offer them at step 6 with the reserves. We're now rebuilding again, and that's why Ryan is recruiting talented 19, 20-year-old players to come in and start that process again. And that's going to be very difficult. It's going to be a very different group. His season is going to be a little bit more difficult to start with a new group of under 18 players coming in, but it's something that he's fully prepared to do and is going to take a little bit of time, and we're prepared to help him manage that and navigate that, aren't we?
Yeah, I think the culture's changed at this football club in the last few years, and you'll probably answer about that better than anyone, Coops, because you can see it. You can see the difference and the joined up thinking between the first team, the reserves and the under 18s, and that for us is key moving forward over the coming years. So let's crack on with this one and see where we end up.
Okay, well, thank you both for tonight and all the best for Saturday.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Coops.
So, you haven't started yet?
Yeah.
They're rolling, mate.
We're rolling now, we're ready.
You have you?
Yeah.
We are. Like I said,
Oh yeah, I can, sorry.
This is like the outtakes, isn't it? We'll get this on later. This is great content for the website.
Just need a little camera on you, action.
So, Darren, Chris, sorry.
Yeah.
You look at me and you're saying Darren.
It's been 3 months.
Me, Coops.
Come on, mate. You got this, Coops. We're all in this together, mate.